This is my latest update on my N-scale railroad, and it's a combination of good news and bad news. Part of the good news is I was able to locate a kit for a cement plant, and that's the kit that you see in the lower left-hand corner there. Um, it came in and I've been started assembling it. I've gotten a good portion of it done. I still have a lot of small detail parts to add, and that'll be very time consuming, so that's going to take me a while. Another thing you can see, I have two of these cement trucks that I can use to service this industry. Plus, I have two more that are kits that I can put together eventually, so I'll have 4 trucks to service that industry. And as you can see, I've been trying to figure out some of the roads so that I can have a way for vehicles to get to and from all these industries. I've tentatively laid some other roads here to service that industry and the storage shed and eventually the passenger station. Another thing that I'm considering is that if I shorten this siding, maybe cut it off about here, then I can put in this corner a storage yard surrounded by a chain link fence, and I have 3 kits for construction equipment in addition to the 3 tractors that you've seen in earlier layout. So that'll be a nice little display area. So I'm pretty sure I can do that. I looked up online and there are some chain link fences available, and I'm going to need some other supplies, so I'll just go ahead and order them when I order other supplies. I still do have some issues with the track. This 4-axle locomotive is running around fairly decently, although I have some problems. One other thing I guess I should mention that I've managed to do this week is I did complete a loading and unloading dock that's going to service the shops and the businesses in town. I had plenty of spare wood, so I was able to build that. It was a little time consuming, but it's done, so that's good news. And this locomotive that you see running around the layout right now is a 4-axle locomotive, and they run around the layout just fine. And I have plenty of 4-axle locomotives, so I could use them with no problem. However, I do have some 6-axle locomotives that I really like, and there's a couple of spots on the layout where they have some problems. One of those spots is right here. This corner is just a little bit too sharp, so it causes some derailments for my 6-axle locomotives. So what I think I'm going to have to do, unfortunately, is tear up this track and bring it out just a little bit out here and around and then back in like this. And that'll ease that curve and allow a 6-axle locomotive to negotiate that corner. This corner right here is probably always going to be too sharp for a 6-axle locomotive. There's nothing I can really do about that, but that's okay because even the real locomotives have some sidings where certain locomotives can't go just because of either the curvature of the track or the track won't hold the weight of the locomotive. One other area that I probably need to attend is this curve right here. I'll need to make that a little bit less sharp and bring this siding down in here. So I have some work to do on the track, and I have some other areas in the track where I've had some problems occasionally. I'll have to figure them out as well. And I had planned this week to figure out a way to connect this end of the road to this end of the road, And so I have space in here for the buildings that I want to put in and have the road go through town. But unfortunately, I think what I'm going to end up doing is servicing, tearing up the track and making those changes that I need to make so that I can use all of my locomotives. As I said before, I don't really need to use 6-axle locomotives, but I have some that I really like, so I'm going to make those changes right now while the layout's under construction so that I'll be happier with it in the future.